In spiritual circles, we try to do things consciously, but even in relationships, especially if there's a misunderstanding or a breakup, it's not easy. My name is Shauna, and if you're new here, I had a spiritual awakening at the age of 19 through a near-death experience, and I've been helping people get closer to each other and themselves through working with their bodies, their minds, their souls, and their spirits for 30 years now. And so I'm here to give you spiritual tools to help you on your path. Conscious uncoupling or spiritual separation is definitely not the easiest way to go, but it does seem to leave the least amount of negativity left in the field. So first, let me tell you what spiritual separation or conscious uncoupling is not. It's not rigid and structured with clear definitions of right and wrong like our religions would like to make things be for us. And it's definitely not joyful bliss, just being blissed out and focused on the positive joyfulness of it. It's also not collapsing down and just trying to make everybody happy and nice and make everybody okay, or self-effacing and putting everybody else's needs and wants before your own. And it's not hardening up and lashing out, because to be honest, it would be much easier just to get pissed off and kick everybody out and say this is my way or the highway, lash out at each other in anger. That'd be much easier. But that leaves a lot of pain and hurt and negativity in the field, and we have enough harshness and negativity already out there. It's not the healthiest, it's not the most peaceful, and it's definitely not the most spiritual way to be. So here's what spiritual separation or conscious uncoupling does look like. It looks like deep self-work and radical honesty. Deep self-work and radical honesty with yourself and the other. It's definitely finding a way, to express how you feel and what you think and what your intentions were, honestly, really with yourself. What was the intention behind what you said, and really owning that and sharing that with the other person and being really honest with yourself about where you were coming from and willing to look at your shadow side that may be influencing some of your reactions. And honesty doesn't have to come in harshness. It can come in kindness, but it's not holding back and withholding information or changing what you're wanting to say so that you feel better about it or they feel better about it, but really being honest with what's going on within you and in your intentions and what you're perceiving from the other person. It's loving yourself enough to have boundaries. To have boundaries and express them. It's not collapsing down and self-effacing and letting everybody else's boundaries or wants and needs efface your own. It's not harshness, this is my boundary and you're crossing it, or focusing on all those walls we're putting up of our harsh boundaries, but it's really knowing yourself, saying this is my line that won't be crossed. And I have to be honest with myself about that and with you, and hold firm on what I need and what I can see is also the best for you. It's a kindness that this is my boundary and this is where I am. You can't cross it. This is the line. Because kindness is who you are, not decomposing into hatred, because that's not who you are. It's also acknowledging what the other person has said and how they feel. Acknowledging the other person and what they've said and the feelings that are behind that. I mean, yes, hold your perspective, but really have humbleness and humility to see through their lens on why it is or how it is that they're seeing things and how that makes them feel. And it's friendly, loving, and supportive. I want to give a real shout out to my son's father for this one, as he and I try to navigate this process. That was his input. That this needs to be not just civil, but friendly, loving, and supportive. Not easy, but we're giving it a shot. Thank you. Conscious uncoupling takes a lot of self-work, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of courage to look deep within at what you really want and who you really are, and still have the humbleness and the humility to look out and honestly see the other person for who they are and what they want. Here's what that might look like. Honey, you've said some things in the past that led me to believe that you really see an exclusive future with us. But now your words and your actions are making me feel like quite the opposite, and I'm really feeling hurt by this.
Oh, I hear you're hurt. I feel you're hurt. I'm sorry if I did things to mislead you into believing this was something other than what it was, that I was ready to be exclusive. I can see how you feel misled by that. But I'd like to hear more about how my actions led you to believe that. Do you want to tell me about it?
Well, like the other day, I told you about that person I met and the conversation we were having, the nice chat we had, and you got really jealous. And I thought that meant you cared, and you pulled me closer and you told me I was your queen and that you loved me and that you couldn't imagine losing me to someone else and that you saw us together long term.
I'm sorry about that. I can see how that created confusion. I just assumed that me not telling you explicitly that I didn't want to date someone else, that would be enough. I do really care about you. I do really love you. I did mean those things, but I got really wrapped up in my emotions. And it wasn't fair of me to tell you those things and say that to you and mislead you into thinking that this was more. That I've been working with my coach on some inner child stuff, and I can see here that that inner child self got triggered and didn't want to lose you after trying so hard. And it's all from that bullying and stuff that I experienced as a kid. And I'm really sorry. I can see I still have work to do.
Well, you're right. You never said exactly those words that you didn't want to be with someone else. And I'm glad you're seeing some of your inner child wounding that maybe came forward at that time, but I'm still feeling really hurt.
Well, looks like there's been a lot of misunderstanding here. We both feel misunderstood, and I'm sorry about that.
However, I have to be honest that I've been doing inner child work with my coach as well, and I can see that, that was coming forward, that hurt little girl inside who was clinging and hoping for something that maybe wasn't grounded in the present moment of what is.
Who knows what the future will bring, but that's not fair to leave you hanging out there in hopefulness.
Well, you're right. I've been living in hopefulness and projections of a future of what could be rather than grounding in what is. And that's led me to feel really disconnected from myself. And when I drop in, I can see that I really want someone who chooses me 100%, who doesn't want to share me or me to share them with someone else.
And I'm sorry for my part in it. I'm sorry for misleading you and for creating confusion. I'm just not ready to stop dating this other person. Well, I do really care about you. I'd like to keep the door open to future communication if you'd be willing.
I'm not sure I can do that right now. I'm still feeling really hurt in this, and I got too far away from myself. I need some time to reflect and reassess and regroup. I suggest we take, 30 days of no contact to really kind of come back into ourselves, and then we'll see where we are in a month.
I understand. It's not what I want, but I respect where you're at. And I respect your right to choose and your sovereignty, even if that means I lose you. We don't know how this will unfold in the future. I really want everyone to be happy, but especially you. Why don't you take some time to regroup and we'll see what the future holds. I'll be sending love and prayers your way, and again, I'm really sorry for the misunderstanding. Take all the time you need. I'll be here. Contact me in a month or so if you want to.